Good afternoon and welcome to ArsenalFanTV Extra. Full-time whistle's just gone at Vicarage Road. I'm pleased to say Arsenal have won 3-1 with goals from Santi Cazorla, Alexis Sanchez and a wonderful header from Mesut Ozil. Joining me to review the games and review your tweets and opinions, I'm very proud to present to you Mr. FK. Welcome, FK.
Hello, good to be here.
Welcome back again, mate. And
Thank
very
you.
proud to introduce Mr. Craig from Laguna Talk. Welcome, Craig.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing? I'm in a bloody good mood. I'm in a bloody good mood for once.
Fantastic. It feels nice to actually present a show, and we've got 3 points on the board. So don't forget, if you want to contact Craig and FK, to tweet us using the hashtag AFTVextra, and Craig and FK will be reading your tweets out. I've got a number of calls coming through on Skype. Got a couple of calls from the US, got a couple of calls from Dubai, one from Sweden, and a couple of calls as well from the UK. If you've been to the game, if you've watched the game, tweet us your opinions, tweet us your views, get in touch with us and share with us your opinions. First off, I want to come to Mr. FK. 3 points. Game of really two halves, wasn't it, really, FK? You know, it was the first half, we were sublime. Ozil and Alexis were looking good. Santi Cazorla was playing well. And then the second half, it sort of went a bit sort of pear-shaped. What did you make of the game?
Look, first and foremost, great to get our first points on the board, especially after two difficult opening games. You know, obviously after the Liverpool game, there was a lot of bad air around the club. Leicester, there was a bit of damage limitation. But today, first 45 minutes, I mean, unfortunately, I've not had the pleasure of watching it because it's a 3 o'clock game. But we seem to be, you know, sort of purring again. You know, back to our silky selves. Great start, like you say, Memz, 3-0 up. You know, nice goals as well. I hear from, you know, Ozil's header was a great move, and the ball from Walcott for Sanchez was great as well. So great that we've got off the mark. A great start to the game. And then, of course, we come out second half, and there's always that little lapse in concentration. And at 3-1, I have to be honest, I did worry about maybe conceding a second, and then, of course, you'd have a panicky last 10, 15 minutes. But we held on, and 3 points on the board, and that's all that counts. So really pleased.
No, good stuff, FK. I think a couple of key moments of the game was a couple of top saves from Peter Cech. And Craig, I know you used to be a goalkeeper. What did you think of Peter Cech today and the overall opinion of the game?
Oh, he was class, mate. World class. That save from Koscielny in the first half was a world class save, world class reaction save. If that had gone in the back of the net, you know, we could have been looking at a different scoreline altogether and a different outlook, you know, a different outcome or outlook on the game. But as FK says there, you know, purring, I think, was a great description. They were brilliant today in the first half. So frustrating as well, though, as an Arsenal fan, to watch them play that well, and you know, and look back to the Liverpool game and look back to the Leicester game. I mean, I watched Liverpool and I watched Spurs before I watched the game today, and it was an awful game. Awful game. Two very bang average teams, and how we've lost to Liverpool, I do not know. But getting back onto today, Sanchez was great. Theo Walcott's work rate today was brilliant. Granit Xhaka, well, what can you say about Xhaka? I can't wait till he settles in properly. I mean, he's doing what he was doing today, pinging balls from left to right. His defensive quality was brilliant today. Mesut Ozil again, you know, it just makes us tick. And I've got to give a special mention to Rob Holding again as well.
Yeah, he was played well.
Absolutely brilliant. Didn't put a foot wrong again. Looked completely composed on the ball. And a great performance from him. I feel a bit sorry for him actually, because, you know, I think at Southampton away, Mustafi might be in there. But he's certainly done a great job, and the future's bright for Rob Holding, I think.
Fantastic, Rob. Fantastic, Craig. Thank you very much for your feedback. I'm going to go to the first caller. We've got Sam. Sam, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, Memz. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Is he coming across loud and clear? Can you hear him, FK and Craig? Can you hear him?
Yeah,
hear him, yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Hi, Sam.
What do you think of the game? I mean, we were just talking to FK and Craig. Obviously, it's a game of two halves. We looked absolutely majestic in the first half. Everyone went in at half-time purring and saying how fantastic it was. And in the second half, we sort of like holding on a bit towards there when the goal went in and Cech made a couple of saves. What's your analysis of the game there, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, pretty much what everyone's been saying so far, really. Completely agree. I said 3-1 before the game. I knew we were going to win 3-1. I don't know why. I just had a little feeling. But, I think we totally blew them away, mate, to be honest with you, in that first half. I thought, again, as I've said before, Xhaka, absolutely outstanding, mate. His passing range just sets the tempo for us. It gets us forward really quick. They're on the back foot without us realising. And I just thought we were really, really good. We did sort of hold on towards the end of the second half, but it's to be expected. We're playing away. You know, we can't really moan at that performance. I think, you know, let's not take it too far though. I mean, it was Watford at the end of the day, you know, but you can only play what's in front of you at the same time. But again, I thought the game sort of changed very slightly when we made the substitutions. Ozil came off because Ola was pushed up a bit. I thought we lost a bit of our tempo, a bit of our play, and didn't seem as fluid as we normally are, to be honest with you, because of Ozil. I mean, he is just an absolutely outstanding footballer. There's no two ways about it. He is world class.
Sam, you've made some great points, and I agree with you. I thought Ozil today was absolutely sublime. Everything that seems to be happening was centred around him. We see a much more improved Alexis Sanchez there, and I think that was probably key to having Alexis Mesut behind him, picking out his runs, his movement today was good. Ozil was absolutely at the heart of everything, and he tapped it off with a wonderful move and a great header. He was brilliant. I just hope now we can get him to sign that contract, but he was brilliant.
I totally agree, mate. I hope both of them sign. But I also thought in the first half we looked a lot more dangerous when Alexis was down the left-hand side rather than focusing on the centre. I think we scored 2 goals coming sort of from him coming from that area. I know I've given young Theo a bit of a hard time on Twitter over the years, but I thought today, to be fair to him, he worked extremely hard, and there's a little saying that hard work beats talent when talent won't work hard. And I thought that totally summed him up today. He works hard, and he played well. You know, there's no getting away from it. I thought he was good today, to be fair to him. I really did.
Sam, thank you very much for the call, mate. I want to get some feedback from FK and Craig on your call. Thanks very much, as always, for calling in, mate, and look forward to speaking to you again, mate. Thanks very much.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, mate. See you later.
Thanks,
bye,
Sam.
Bye. See you guys.
See ya.
FK, just want to catch on about what Sam's mentioned. He's mentioned Granit Xhaka. I thought we had a particularly good game. His range of passing, I see it on Twitter. Everyone was purring at his range of passing. But he's also picked out Theo Walcott for a bit of praise as well. Now, Theo was involved in the second goal, whipped in a lovely cross and in slid Alexis at the far post and tapped it in. Theo, he gets a lot of criticism because of his wages and things like that, but I think he needs a bit of running games and some confidence. What do you reckon, FK?
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, on Granit Xhaka, you know, the man's going to be a monster of a player for us. You know, you just got to let him settle, let him find his groove. Everyone was tweeting positively about his passing range today. I think Jeremy Wilson from The Telegraph tweeted that he was the midfielder we've been looking for the last 10 years. So that's really encouraging, only obviously 1 or 2 games in. With Theo Walcott, Memz, a lot of people on Twitter will know that I'm quite a fan of his. You know, I really want him to make it at Arsenal. I think he can if he's deployed in the right way, and I think playing out wide is his best position. Give him too much time to dwell on the ball and to think about stuff. I think he overcomplicates it. I think whereas if you play him as an outlet and he's got to make an instinctive decision, either passing or shooting, I think he's very effective.
Yeah,
so
totally
I don't know if there's a bit of an echo on the line. Apologies for that. But I do think that when Walcott's played out wide and he's not given much time to think on the ball, I think he's great. And if he's putting in his work rate, that's obviously a good sign. For 140 grand a week, you can expect a lot more from him as a player. He needs to get stuck in. He needs to cement that place because, you know, he's not a certainty to start. So if he's had a good game today, that's completely welcome.
I think what you've touched on there is a certainty to start is something I agree with you as well. I mean, on that right-hand side, we seem to be blessed now with options. We've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, we've got Theo that can play there, Iwobi can play there, Ramsey can play there, Alexis can play there. So Theo really does need to start showing what he can do, and games like today will only boost his confidence. Craig, what's your take on Theo and Mesut Ozil today, the performance there?
I thought Theo Walcott played really well today. Can't complain about Theo Walcott's performance today. Massive work rate, great ball in for the second goal. I will say this, let's get it right. Theo Walcott gets paid 140 grand a week. The last 3 or 4 years, you know, he's been playing like a 30 grand a week player, you know. I think that's where people have got the problems. That's certainly where my problem lies with Theo Walcott. gets paid a lot of money, and he's not really giving it back, is he? Like FK, I have a love-hate relationship with Theo Walcott. But today, for me, Memz, he was great. He was getting in behind. His work rate was up. He was running back, defending, which we haven't seen him do for a long time. A lot to do with it has got to be that there's players coming in. This Perez. I know this Perez guy is a striker, but I've heard he can play on the wing as well. So perhaps Theo Walcott has been given the kick up the arse that we all wanted him to get.
I agree, and also with Serge Gnabry having a particularly good Olympics, it's going to be challenging for that right-hand side as well. So you could be right, Craig. I mean, competition for places sometimes gets the better out of players, and maybe this is what Theo just needs. Guys, I'm going to remind you to use the hashtag to get your tweets in. I know Craig and FK are going to be going through your tweets. I've got another caller coming in now. It's a guy called Jamal from Gothenburg in Sweden. How you going, Jamal?
Good, thank you very much. For once, very, very good.
Welcome to the show, mate. It's nice to have you on after a 3-1 victory. What's your analysis of the game, mate?
Thank you for having me. My analysis of the game is it was a tale of two halves, really. First half, comfortable, confident. What really stood out for me, which I don't think anyone's really mentioned, is how our build-up play has vastly improved with just having that one player, Mesut Ozil, which allowed us to completely change the delivery that we could give to Sanchez, because I think looking back at the past two games, Leicester and Liverpool, we couldn't really get anything out of Sanchez because we were forcing him to sort of fill that Giroud role. Today you saw the difference. I mean, the ball from Walcott for the second goal, just Sanchez really, for me, stood out, and that was the reason why, in the end, we got the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, we've touched on the Ozil effect and what it brings to the game, and I totally agree with you there, Jamil. But what did you think of Peter Cech's contribution today? You saw in the first half he made a save from Koscielny at a key time, and he made a couple of saves in the second half when he was kind of hanging on there. He came up with some criticism after the game against Liverpool, but he looked back to his best today.
Absolutely. That's what you get when you have an experienced goalkeeper that has a plethora of titles under his on his CV. I mean, this is a guy that will save us in those crucial moments when we do have halves, the second halves like we had today, which this won't be the only game that we will have this. And I think Cech performed very, very well. And it was a brilliant reaction save as well to save Koscielny from blushing, because it looked like it could have been an own goal.
It sure was.
He played really, really well. And I'm really happy as well.
Fantastic, Jamal. Well, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
I follow you on Twitter, mate, and you always make some good points. And like I said last week, I've got a lot of admiration for our fans across Europe that stay up at the middle of the night and tune in to watch the games. I know you're only in Sweden, and the time difference is not much difference, but thank you very much for joining the show, mate.
Thank you.
And cheers, mate. Thanks very much, Jamal.
Take care.
Cheers, mate. Bye. That's Jamil from Gothenburg in Sweden. Make some good points. FK, I know with the transfer window open, obviously you made a couple of tweets the other day, and something that you tweeted, which I found quite interesting, mate, was Joe Hart's situation. With Peter Cech, do you think that we've got a goalkeeper here for a couple of years, or do you think Arsenal would be looking to bring in a younger goalkeeper to challenge him?
Well, first of all, on Petr Cech, I think he's going to be around for a while. I mean, what is he, 34, 33, 34? And goalkeepers can go on until they're 37, 38. So I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I do find his form at Arsenal is a bit suspect compared to what he was like at Chelsea. And I wonder if that's because he spent the whole year not playing when Courtois was at Chelsea, and maybe he's just become a bit rusty over time. I don't know. With regards to Joe Hart, it's just something that I'd heard. I was very surprised to hear it, but given Joe's calibre, I mean, he's not a bad goalkeeper at all. He's just obviously out of favour with Pep for whatever reason. If he's available on loan and City are willing to pay the majority of his fees, I think it'd be a very, very good acquisition for a lot of clubs. Whether or not I can see him coming to Arsenal, I'm not sure. Whether or not I can see Arsenal thinking about replacing Cech, I'm not sure. Ospina seems a very adequate number 2, and obviously Szczesny looks like he's going to go to Rome. So I can't see anything happening with Joe Hart, but it's just something that I'd heard and I thought it was particularly bizarre. Yeah.
But I mean, you came good last week, mate. When we spoke this time last week, you did mention Mustafi when everyone was saying it's over, and you did say that it looks like it still might happen. So kudos to you, mate, for getting that one right. So I remember these things, FK.
Thanks, thank you.
Craig, a player that really stood out for me today, and no one's mentioned as yet, is Hector Bellerin. I thought he was absolutely amazing down that right-hand side, and he seems to be one of the most attacking, best young players at right-back in the world. And I don't mean to hype him up, but I can't think of any other right-backs in world football at his age who is more exciting than Hector Bellerin. I think we're blessed with a real player there. What do you make of Hector Bellerin today?
Well, I put a little tweet out when he took those players on there in the second half. Hector Ronaldinho, I called him.
Brilliant.
He's mustard, isn't he, mate? Got to agree with you there. I can't think of a right back at his age playing in the Premier League or playing in any league at the moment. I don't think that's exciting as him. His pace is electric. He looked very composed today as well when he was taking on people. He didn't just kick the ball and put his head down. He actually, when he had the ball at his feet, he was looking around and to have a little look and made some lovely passes. Should have got a couple of assists today.
I agree.
If we'd have had someone in the right position at the right time. But yeah, mate, got to agree with you. I can't see any right back in any league that's as electric as him. And I hope that he's an Arsenal player for a very, very, very long time.
Couldn't agree more, mate. And the thing that's impressed me about Hector Bellerin is obviously when he first came in, I think his first game was Dortmund away. And he got absolutely slaughtered. And for a young man, that's he got his act together, and it must have dented his confidence. But he's proved a lot of people wrong. And it just shows that these young players, when they get an opportunity in the team, that they can deliver. And I know we've got a number of young players that Arsene Wenger's bigging up at the moment, who we will see probably in the coming weeks in the cup game against Nottingham Forest. Guys,
can I just one thing about Hector Bellerin? I had the pleasure of meeting him actually this week, and we were just talking about life in London, life at Arsenal, and he was saying that something because I asked him, one day you're inevitably going to go to Barcelona, surely, and he said he loves it, and the difference between him and other players that have come in the past is that he brought his whole family over from a very young age, and his mum, dad, and all that kind of stuff are all settled here. So whilst I think he'll one day go to Barca when they come calling, I think he's going to be here for a long time.
I really hope so. That's great news, FK. I saw the pictures of you and Hector as well. What was that? Some sort of charity event? Was there?
Yeah, it's a It's a charity that do that sort of raise awareness for cardiac-related issues with footballers, and it's an amazing charity. If you go onto my timeline, you'll see links to it. He's an ambassador for the charity. Him and Toby are really good mates, and Toby's a fellow who was playing football and he collapsed on the pitch. His heart stopped beating, and he's gone into that type of stuff. But we had a really good chat, and I'll tell you what, Memz, if there's one thing that's that makes you more self-aware about your slight curves on your body, it's standing next to a footballer. You realise how lean and strong these guys are, and it makes you realise how old and out of shape you are. So
I know very well, mate. I know. And he's got fantastic hair as well, isn't he, old Hector Bellerin?
Exactly.
Let's not talk about that. Oh, guys, I've got another call, and a gentleman from South Carolina in the US is currently waiting to speak to us. It's Abraham. Abraham, how are you doing, sir?
Doing well. Absolutely excited.
Sorry, if I pronounced your name wrong. How do I actually pronounce your name? Would you repeat?
Abraham.
Okay, thanks very much.
Remove the half. This is Abraham. Yeah.
My apologies, sir. Thank you very much for joining us all the way from South Carolina. What did you think of the game?
I loved the first half. That midfield, Ozil, Xhaka, literally just like a FIFA-type midfield, and we were spraying passes. I absolutely loved the passes that were flying about. They couldn't cope with us. They had like a section where they kind of like grew into the game, but like after we got like the first and second goals, it was absolute control, and I absolutely loved it. Second half, I was a little disappointed. I mean, I felt like we kind of tired towards the end.
Yeah.
And like even the subs, like I felt like they could have like added a little bit more energy towards the game, because we really kind of fell off and we let them back into it. I mean, let's be honest, that goal that I think it was Dini who scored it. I'm not sure. It's one of those defensive error type goals that you literally get when players are tired.
Yeah.
So I felt like towards the end, we kind of like slipped off.
It was a bit like a pinball machine there, wasn't it? We were trying to clear it, and we couldn't quite get it away. But I mean, we've touched on Peter Cech and a couple of saves that he made as well. Did any players really stand out for you? I mean, some people are saying Ozil, some people are saying Alexis. I was impressed with Hector Bellerin today. Did any players really stick out for you today?
Xhaka. It has to be Xhaka for me. The man has a foot. He can pick out a pass from the deep in midfield. And like I said before, it's literally like a FIFA-esque pass. And you don't even know, you don't even see it coming until he plays it. And then that's when you actually pick up on the four that's making the run. And for me, he was absolutely like awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic, mate. Thanks for giving us a call, and thank you for sharing your opinion of the game. And hopefully we'll speak again soon. Keep watching ArsenalFanTV, and thanks for your feedback, mate. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Yeah. It's a great call all the way from South Carolina in America. Craig, what do you think of the Granit Xhaka game today? He says that it was a FIFA-esque sort of passing with that left foot. What do you think of Granit Xhaka's performance today?
Yeah, like I said, mate, at the start of it, he's not even settled in yet. I mentioned it as well on the Periscope that I did at half time. Can't wait to see when he's fully settled in. If he's going to perform like that, like he did today for the rest of the season, we have got a tidy player on our hands. I think his price. People were looking at his price, £35 million, 23 years old, captain of his country, captain of the team that he come from. £35 million, 23 years old is a bargain, Memz, if you ask me. Yeah. In today's current climate.
I agree.
There's actually a good tweet here, and this one comes in from Jawwood97, and he says Xhaka was outstanding. Should he be regarded as a regular starter after today's performance? Yes, after today's performance. I think Ozil and him, if I was manager, would be the first two names on the team sheet.
A few people said before the start of the season started, is that a position we desperately needed? And there was even some question marks, even like after the first game against Liverpool when he came on and didn't really impress. A lot of people were questioning Xhaka, but like FK said last week, with Arteta going, with Flamini going, with Rosicky going, we did need to sign a player to sort of fill the hole. And I think he's a top player. He reminds me very much of Petit, and I think you probably will see the better of him in like 5 or 6 games.
Anyone that says that we didn't need a DM, I mean, come on now. Yeah, of course we did. And to get a player of his quality at such a young age as well, it's only got to be. Arsene Wenger needs to be applauded for that signing. It's a fantastic signing. He just looks like an Arsenal player already, and I know people are coming, people are saying, oh, he was bad against Liverpool, yada yada yada. Let's not forget, he's just come back from the Euros. He's just joined a new team. He's moved to London. He's got to get time to settle in. He's got to have time to get to know everyone properly. People might say to me, oh, well, he's trains with them every day, but that doesn't mean he's got to blend in. I'm not going to make any decisions on him yet after 3 games. I don't know how anyone can say something like that after 3 games. Yeah, but he certainly looks like he's going to be a world-class player for us.
I agree with you, mate. I agree, well said. FK, anything on Twitter that you've picked up on?
No, I mean, everyone's raving about Xhaka and his performance. And I think I just want to add, I mean, the 3 that you mentioned that are going out, that went out, Memz, Arteta, Flamini and Rosicky. If you think about El Neni, Xhaka and Iwobi, all 3 are upgrades on the. I mean, Rosicky was a great player, but you didn't really get much out of him every year. So that's just a great position to be in. And I echo what Craig and everybody else is saying, that just let Xhaka settle, let him get acclimatised with our pace and our style of play. And the guy's a quarterback. I mean, he's as close to, without getting too carried away. And I said it yesterday about Xabi Alonso. I think he's a wonderful player, a really deep sort of line playmaker. I think he could be that man for us.
No, I agree. The only problem I've got is Xhaka is that it's not really a problem, but who do we play him next to, FK? That's the $1 million question. I mean, today we saw Santi Cazorla, I thought was absolutely outstanding, and the balance seems to be really nice between them, with the left-footed player and the right-footed player. When everyone's fit, who is Granit Xhaka going to play next to in that centre midfield? I mean, we've got Ramsey, we've got Wilshere, El Neni. There's so many options. Who would you start next to Granit Xhaka, mate?
Well, look, the reality is that none of them are going to be all fit at the same time. We know that. So in a way, it's great to have those selections. With regards, if everybody was fit, I really like Ramsey in there. I think El Neni is very, very underrated. And Coquelin, I know a lot of people don't like him, but depending on the opposition, Memz, this is what Arsenal's got to decide. It depends on the calibre of who you're playing. If you're playing home and away, it depends on the situation in the game. If you're going up against a big team, then you might want to play it one way. If you're going against a lesser team, and you want to be more offensive, you might do it another way. So it's great to have the choices. I mean, to sit here and say that it would definitely be Xhaka plus one more, it's probably a little unfair. So let Wenger earn his money and decide what he wants to do. But it's great to have all these choices because in years gone by, Arsenal have always been paralysed by the lack of choice in midfield, and you've had to rely on Flamini and Arteta, who, to be fair, 2-3 years past their sell-by date. So let's just be happy that we've got these choices and leave it to the big man to decide how he wants to do it.
I 100% agree with you. You made some great points.
I just want to touch on something there, Memz. Completely agree with FK there. How good was it on the 75th minute that we could bring on Wilshere and El Neni?
Yeah.
I was sitting there smiling to myself.
It was nice having that calibre on the bench as well.
Exactly.
And I totally agree with what FK says as well. I think it's depending on the team that we're playing. If, say, for example, we're at home, we probably won't need to go with the defensive options of Coquelin and El Neni, and we could afford to play like a talented player in there like Ramsey and Wilshere. So I totally agree with you, gents, both of you. Guys, I've got another caller who's coming from Dubai. That's Mushy. How you doing, Mushy?
Hey, Memz. How you doing?
Good, Mushy. Welcome to the show. How's things in Dubai?
Quite hot.
I can imagine.
36, 37 degrees in the middle of the night, so it's a bit sticky. But in air condition, watching the game today, I'm really happy about the result.
Fantastic, mate. What do you think of the game? Any standout players for you? Any incidents that you want to talk to us about? Any players that you weren't happy with? What was your analysis of the game then, Mushy?
First incident, I don't know why we weren't wearing our red kit. I watch it on beIN Sports here in Dubai live, and I was thinking, which one are we? I was so confused. So as a first instance, I think the performance was good. A lot of people will say, look, it's only Watford away, but I also watched last week when Chelsea played Watford, and they're not a rubbish team. I thought Chelsea just about won quite luckily, and I thought today's performance was really good. And standouts, I think everyone said it. I thought Xhaka was amazing. Hector Bellerin as well, Memz. I mean, I can't get over how fast he is. I genuinely can't. He's unbelievable.
I love that guy. I think my missus loves him as well. He's a good-looking sod as well, isn't he? So, but yeah, he played really well today.
And one other point I'd say is Koscielny's got a great catalogue of own goals, and thank God for Petr today, because that would have been another great own goal to add to his repertoire. Yeah,
we've spoken about that as well, and it's something we picked up as a fantastic reflex save, and Koscielny's prone to that. I think he's scored quite a few own goals in the past, but it's good to have Koscielny back though, isn't it, Mushy? We saw against the first game against Liverpool, like the difference that he's made in the last two games with his experience and his sort of lift in Rob Holding. I thought Rob Holding played quite well today. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Koscielny's in my opinion, world class. He's prone to some crazy bits, but I thought Rob Holding just seems. I mean, I think Wenger really has uncovered a gem there. Very unassuming, solid defender, and alongside someone like Koscielny, someone who is experienced, I hope Rob Holding will come to the fore whilst Gabriel and Mertesacker are injured. However, obviously we have Mustafi in the ranks coming. Hopefully, I don't know when that's going to be announced. So yeah, I agree. It's a bit sad that the next game he might not actually play. It might be actually Mustafi who plays. Yeah,
he's certainly one for the future. And we're awaiting the two signings of Perez and Mustafi. That's hopefully.
Memz, can I butt in?
Has Wenger confirmed it?
Wenger has confirmed the signings of Mustafi and Perez in his interview after the game. So Mustafi and Perez now Arsenal players.
Fantastic. That's great news. Well, that's what we needed. That's what Arsenal fans have been calling out for, and I believe that takes our spending very close to the 100 million mark, doesn't it, FK? We'll see. before we answer that, FK, just thank you very much, Mushy, for joining us from Dubai. Great call, mate. Enjoy the heat tonight. Thanks very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
See you, Mushy.
So, FK, yeah, the signings have been confirmed, as Arsene Wenger has said in his pre-match interview. Thank you very much, Craig, for highlighting that. It looks like we've got the two signings, Mustafi, Perez, taking our spending to almost £100 million, which sort of flattens the myth that Arsene Wenger doesn't like to spend. So, what's your take of the summer transfer and the signings that we've made? Are you happy?
Hey, listen, I'm pleased. You know, at the start of the window, we needed a centre-back, and we've got in two now. Holding looks a good prospect, and Mustafi, even though I've not seen much of him, to be part of the Germany international squad, he's got to have something about him, so I'm pleased with that. Xhaka looks silky. You know, you saw what he's capable of in the Euros, so hopefully we'll see more of that from him. And then, of course, Perez, who, again, admittedly, I've not really seen much of, but he's someone who I believe will come in and, you know, he offers a bit of versatility. He can play left, right, up top. Looks a decent finisher. People that have watched him closely describe him as someone who's always on the move, on the shoulder of the centre back. You know, he's quick. He's quite lean. You know, sort of Vardy-esque. So who knows? I mean, I don't want to sit here and praise him up too much. I don't want to dismiss them either. I think give them time, let them see how they kind of add quality to the squad. But I'm pleased, Memz. I mean, £100 million. It's no joke. It's taken many years of sacrifice and frustration, as I'm sure you guys would agree. We've had to sell players year on year, so it's nice to keep our entire squad intact for once. And I think now Arsenal's basically got a really good squad there. So let's see how we get on. I mean, transfers don't solve everything. We know Arsenal's got his flaws, but at the end of the day, you know, there's not one Arsenal fan that can sit back and say, well, you know, it's been a poor window. We've spent a lot, and you never know. We might even spend a bit more in the next couple of days. Who knows?
I hope so. I mean, I saw a report the other day by David Ornstein and Jeff Arsenal both said that, you know, he's had about £98 million budget to spend, but there is a reserve of about £70 million to spend if this exceptional player became available. And I'm sure Arsene Wenger, if that player did become available, he would show some interest. Craig, what's your take of the transfer window, mate? All the players that we've signed in, the Xhaka, the Mustafi, the Perez. Are you happy with the deals? And you know, do you anticipate any players to leave as well?
I'm very happy with I'm happy with the transfer window. You know, people who follow me on Twitter will know that I can be quite the knee-jerk reactor, and then apologise for it 10 minutes later. But I'm definitely happy with the. We needed a centre back. He's brought us in two. As FK says, we needed a striker. He's brought in one. Again, you know, people are telling me about Perez. People have been inboxing me, sending me videos of him. People who have watched him say that we've got a good player on our hands. So, you know, I'm not going to ask any questions of those people that watched him every week. If they say he's good, then he must be good. And he must have something about him for Arsene Wenger to have signed him as well. So people are calling it a panic buy. Some people are calling him he was always the plan B. Seems to me we might have just nicked him off Everton there at the last minute.
I mean, cheap as well, Craig. I mean, a lot of people don't. I think they're playing this one down, but he's not cheap. I mean, 17 million quid is the most we've ever spent on a striker. So he's got to have something about him.
You say not cheap. I mean, in the current climate, mate, 17 million's peanuts, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, he's our record striker signing at 17 million. But no, I think that's a good bit of business. 17 million. In my opinion.
We've had another gentleman join us. Is that Loomis that's joined us? You there, mate? No? Okay. Sorry, Craig. Sorry to cut you off there. I was just trying to bring in another person that's joined us. But would you anticipate any players to leave, Craig? Do you think anyone will leave? I mean, there's talks about Debussy possibly going and Callum Chambers going as well. Do you think any more will leave?
I think I've heard through the grapevine that Debussy's already gone, and that Mustafi will wear number 2. But again, you know, that's just people talking. I can't see anyone going, Memz. I can't see why anyone would go. Perhaps Chambers out on loan. Part of me wants Oxlade-Chamberlain to go out on loan as well. I thought he was poor today.
He's really impressed me, mate, in pre-season. I thought he was good today. But
he was poor today, man. He was very poor. I thought he was. I thought he was running around like a headless chicken.
It's all about opinions, mate.
Yeah, exactly. But look, I feel quite ungrateful as well, because in my head, I want Wenger to do a madness.
You want to do
I want him to bring in the madness.
Well, we'll be waiting for madness. Loomis, are you there, mate? Can you hear me now? We can see you. We can see you. But we've got no sound, mate. We've got no sound. No, can't hear you. Sorry, mate. All right, mate, no problem. Okay, we've got another gentleman joining us, a gentleman called Loomis. He's having some technical issues. By the time Loomis gets his tech issues going, we're going to take another call, and that's Mr. Dimitri from Greece. How you doing, Dimitri? How do you say Galispera? You there? Dimitri? No, we are definitely having some. Hey, he's there. Galispera, Dimitri. How are you? I feel like I'm doing a Eurovision Song Contest right now. This is London calling. How are you?
I'm really good, guys. I feel really excited to be around. I have to say congratulations on your show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our fan base is fantastic, man. That's
fantastic, Dimitri. What do you think of the game today? Did anyone stand out for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. I have to say I'm really excited because we started really strong in the game. It seemed like we felt a bit from around 20th minute to 30-something. Mm-hmm. But again, we got our pace back, and I have to say that our defense was like really solid. Mm-hmm. Holding did some mistakes, but Koscielny was there. He was like completely solid. He was fantastic. But the players that stood out for me today was obviously Bellerin. I mean, apart from his pace, he was like looking really lively. He was like being in the defense. He was like going forward. He had two amazing chances. Too bad one wasn't a goal. And then obviously Xhaka. I mean, his defense was really solid today. He didn't pick a card, obviously, and his passes, man, were phenomenal. I have to say it was fantastic. And one thing that really stood out to me as well was actually two things. One was the incredible chemistry between Ozil and Sanchez. They were fantastic today. And the other thing was the fact that today our team proved that we have those players that we need in the right moments. For example, you saw Koscielny, you saw Cech. Cech was fantastic, and like, this is it. I mean, those two additions we got with Mustafi and Perez, our team, I think it's going to be a title contending team.
Let's hope so, mate. Thanks very much for your call, Dimitri. We're going to get some feedback on your call now. Loomis, what did you just hear Dimitri's call? What did you think of that? Thank you very much, Dimitri.
Yeah, you too, guys.
Cheers, mate. Loomis, how are you? Welcome to the show. Nope, still can't hear you. Don't worry, mate. FK, what do you think of Dimitri's call? Are we ready for the title, mate? Have we got enough with this squad to win the title?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look. At the end of the day, Memz, we were the second best team in England last year. We've gone out and spent 100 million. And, you know, people can say all they want. We got second by luck. But over 38 games, you deserve where you finish. You know, whether you finish 7th, whether you finish 10th, whether you finish 2nd or top, it doesn't matter. Over 38 games, you are either the best, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, whatever. We've got a great squad. We've obviously, you know, we've got a good manager. You know, let's not be childish about it. He is a good manager. And I think we've just got as good a chance as any. I think the harmonisation in the team could be a benefit in the long run. I think if Wenger plays his cards right and rests players, gives them breathers when they need to. Giroud was played into the ground last year. You know, if Perez can come on and take a bit of responsibility off him, if Ozil gets a rest now and again, then yeah, why not, Memz? You know, the Premier League's so unpredictable. We've got you just never know. So until, you know, it's just the hope at the start of every season. Yeah, the first 2 games are bitterly disappointing, but at the end of the day, you know, it's a long way to go. So yeah, why not?
Cheers, FK. I mean, Craig, are we
you're obviously not convinced.
Do you know what, FK? I agree, and I appreciate your radical, but with Arsenal, we're so unpredictable. We can look majestic one week, and then the following week, we just look like a different team, and it's all about consistency. And if we can play consistently like we did in that first half, then of course we can win the title. But with Arsenal, I mean, we're 3-0 up, and still we're nervous. You know, 1 goal back, and we're nervous. I mean, it's so unpredictable, football. I mean, Craig. I mean, do you think realistically we can win the title, or are we just getting a bit carried away by the first half performance today?
Honestly, we're getting a bit carried away. I don't think I'd love us to win the league, Memz, you know, and I don't want to come across as being negative, but not this year. I don't think so. And that's just me being honest. Of course I want them to win the league. I want them to win every competition that they play in. But I just look at the other teams around us. You know, I look at United, you look at City, you look at Chelsea. At the end of the day, it's all about squads, isn't it? Squads win your leagues. Do you know what I mean? We could have the best 11 in the league, but if we haven't got no one coming in behind them to fill in positions when they're injured and yada yada, it's simply not going to happen. But one thing I will say for today, we were talking about us being nervous. I was nervous when Watford scored, but what I found today was that we actually dealt with it today.
Yeah.
There were, you know, last year we would have probably ended up drawing that 3-3.
Yeah, good point.
But today they dealt with it. And yes, I was nervous, but every time, you know, we dealt with it, except for Koscielny a couple of times with his 50p head.
Yeah, I think if they would have scored a second goal and it went to 3-2, then we would have really seen the test of our character. But you know,
but it didn't.
I agree with you.
So
yeah, we did. We stood up today. We stood up. I've got another caller joining us, guys. If you can ask you, just check your tweets and pick out your few. I'll come to you in a second. First, I want to go to Liam. Liam, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, Memz.
Yeah, I'm good, Liam. How are you, mate? Enjoy the game. 3 points. It looks like we've got the 2 signings as well. What do you think of it all, mate?
Well, I didn't get to watch the game. I was in the barber's having my hair cut, something UNFK wouldn't know about.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate that.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
I got him to put it on. I was listening to it. In the first half, we seemed class. Xhaka, from what I've come back, watched a few videos. Like everyone said, we seem like we've got a player. 35 million for a 23-year-old in today's market is something else. I'd agree with you. I don't know who we're going to play. Like, it's a conundrum, which is good, which we've not had for a fair few years. We've got a squad now. I feel we've got options off the bench. We're in depth. With the two new lads coming in as well. I'm excited for the new season. But yeah, today's game's good. I had a chat with you earlier. 3-1.
Yeah, you did. You called it, mate. So yeah, well done for that. I mean, we're talking here, Liam. Do you think that we've now got a squad good enough to win the title and challenge for the title?
I would say no, especially Leicester won the league last year.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how good players look on paper, how good they play in your team. I still feel, I said to you earlier, we need a marquee signing. We need that big name up front.
Okay. So with a couple of days to go with the transfer window, you would still bring in one striker. I mean, when we signed Perez, you would still bring in another one?
If he comes up, let's say Griezmann, if you can get him 67.
Madness!
Madness! That's it, mad. He just tweeted that. But yeah, if he comes up, they're players you can't turn down. But you know, we got that Perez, 17 goals and 10 assists or 9 assists. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right about that. Yeah.
For a team that nearly got relegated, he's no mug. And you've got. I don't care if United fans are watching this, but we've got the best cam in the world in Mesut Ozil.
Absolutely.
If you've got someone like that behind you, you're going to score goals. If you're a goal scorer, which he looks like. Some of the goals I've seen, I've done the old YouTube scouting, as most people do. He looks like a player.
He does.
But people are writing him off already. All the papers, the Sun and all them bollocks, they're all writing him off already. And that's what you like. You want him to come do a job.
That's right.
Yeah, it's late in the market, 17 million. I think it was you that tweeted Memz, he's our most expensive striker.
Yep.
We're going to go spend 35 million on Mustafi, and Chambers cost 16 million.
Yeah.
So the striker's always been a bit of a weird one, but we've got someone. We wanted someone.
Let's see if he can do a job, mate. I mean, we've seen in the past with signings with with El Neni and other players. You know, look at other clubs. You know, they've signed players that they've never even heard of, and they can't do well. Liam, thank you very much, mate, for your call. I'm going to move on. Mate. I'm going to bring in Loomis. How you doing, Loomis?
I'm good, man. How are you guys?
Yeah, you sorted out your tech issues, mate. Thank you. Welcome to joining the show. Welcome to ArsenalFanTV How you doing, mate? What do you think of the game?
Well, it was refreshing to watch a game that I could enjoy some of it. Like, I didn't enjoy all of it. The second half was a bit shaky, but the last 2 games, man, it was hard to watch. Especially, I was in Rio and I was missing out on time. I could be on the beach relaxing, sitting indoors watching Arsenal, pissing me off. So it's good to be able to watch a game that I can enjoy. So yeah, look good. And Xhaka, wow, whew, what a player. Looking forward to seeing a lot more of him.
Brilliant, nice one, mate. FK, what do you think of the last caller? The last caller, I mean, could we realistically bring in Still? I mean, I know we touched on it earlier on, but are we one world-class striker short of winning the league?
I think we're one world-class striker short of doing something in the Champions League. I think this squad is capable of winning a domestic cup. And with regards to the league, I mean, we just don't know what Lucas Perez is about. So I don't know. I mean, whether or not we'll spend, the money's there. You made the point earlier about, we've spent a lot, and actually we don't pay all of the money up front. So it's actually broken down over the term of a player's contract. So there's plenty of money to spend if we want to. It just depends, like you say, if there is a big name who might be attractable, if that's a word, over the next couple of days. I mean, who knows? Yeah, I think for the league and for the domestic cups, I think this squad's good. Everyone, I mean, it's too early to write off Lucas Perez. We just don't know what impact he might have. He might be brilliant. You just that's the hope.
So I'm expecting an Eduardo type striker there, to be honest with you, because from what I've seen about him, he's got a deadly little left foot. He doesn't seem like he's blessed with too much pace, and he's not got too much height. But I anticipate that sort of Eduardo type striker. We've had another gentleman joining us. How are you doing there, sir? How are you? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Gunnar Oz here. You're right, man. What's going on, man? Gunnar Oz, yeah. Gunnar
Welcome to the show, Gunnar.
Cheers,
man. The game today?
It was good, but I just try not to get too carried away, really. I mean, it is one game. It's the type of game. I don't want to be negative today because, we have announced Mustafi, we've announced Lucas Perez, and but it's the type of game we should be winning. I mean, we've been at this stage before, previous seasons, where, we've won the type of games that we should be winning, and I just, after we spent, I do have to give credit to Wenger on Mustafi and Xhaka, but I think 5 years in now, and Giroud is still our first choice striker. I mean, Lucas Perez, I watch La Liga every week. I know about Lucas Perez. He's a decent striker. He's a good striker, possibly an upgrade on Giroud. But for the last 5 years, I've been expecting a world-class signing, and I think spending 100 mil striker has really been priority, to be honest, Memz.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I mean, to be honest with you, we spoke about that, and from what I can see about Perez, I mean, he looks like he's the type of player that wasn't our first choice. Now, let's keep in mind that we've got a player there who's got a buyout clause. If we really wanted him, why didn't we sign him?
Yeah, this is the point I was making. I mean, people saying he wasn't our plan B, this, that. But I mean, his release clause was there in May, it was there in June, July. We could have got him before. I think what Wenger's realised is that after the first 2 games, we do need a striker. And I think he's taken a bit of a gamble on Perez because, it could work out. He could prove not to be better than Giroud. But, I mean, the most thing that I'm looking forward to is Mustafi because at the back, we look solid. I mean, a lot of people, they underrate our team. I mean, we've got a brilliant team. And I always think if you look at the way Liverpool's got Liverpool playing, right? And our squad is much better than Liverpool. Let's just get that straight. You look at the way Pep's got City playing now, and at first the players, they don't understand the system, but slowly City have started to dominate games. Same with Chelsea's got them dominating games. They beat Burnley 3-0 today. And I just think we need that manager where we have a system that the players understand. I mean, last season we could have won the league, but we had the quality to win it. Let's not get that confused. I mean, Leicester and Tottenham, we're both better than both of them. But I think just about the system now, to be honest.
Loomis, what do you think about the new signings with Mustafi coming in and Perez? Are you particularly looking forward to, and do you think Perez will start?
I think he's probably going to... To be honest, actually, I can't say if I think he's going to start or not. But I do agree with FK's point about us being good enough to win the league. But I think a world class striker was the kind of sign that would make me walk around with my chest up like we're gonna win the league, like we can do it, like heavy D kind of confidence. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna do it. We can do that. And I think with a world class striker as well in the Champions League, which is something like I've been supporting Arsenal for 10 years. We've only gotten anywhere decent in the Champions League one season the whole time I've been supporting Arsenal. And I think if we do have a world class striker, then we can make some waves in that competition as well. So hopefully, having a player like Ozil behind him, like we can see from Xhaka around him, that can help Perez's game go to another level. Because sometimes you just take him out of one bunch, put him in another. You could gel very well with our type of players, the finishing that he could bring to the team. So hopefully, it's early days to say. I've only done the YouTube viewing of him. I don't really watch any other leagues, just the league and Champions League, so I can't say much on him. But he looks like he can finish what's put in front of him. So hopefully,
it'd be like you, mate. We've all done the YouTube scouting, but do you know when Arsenal signed Pascal Sigan? I didn't have a clue who he was, and I went to YouTube and I typed in Pascal Sigan, and he looked like the new Stan. So anyone could look amazing. On
that is true, because when we signed Sonogo's YouTube show reel is amazing. It is amazing.
Well, let's not talk about Craig and FK back. Let's go back to today's game. Guys, we're going to wrap up the show in the next 5 minutes. Is anything on Twitter that's come out and picture out any tweets? Anything that you want to talk about?
I've got one now. This one comes in from at Charlie Lewis. Theo Walcott, what are your thoughts on him? Will he still be a key player after Perez or drop down the pecking order? I thought he was great today. This is a great tweet.
Great tweet, Charlie. Do you know what? He's a conundrum, isn't he, Theo? You either love him or you hate him. What do you reckon, Craig? Do you reckon he will stay? Do you reckon we should sell him? What do you think?
I hope he stays. I do hope he stays. I know a lot of people will disagree with me. It was only 2 weeks ago that I was tweeting out, right, that's it, I'm finished with him, get rid of him. He played really well today, and I hope that these new players coming in, as I said before, will give him the kick up the backside that he's needed. He's had it all his own way for too long. Much like Giroud has had it all his way too long. This will affect your performances. If you know you're in the team every week, sure. Have you really got to perform to the best of your ability if you know you're in the team next week anyway? So yeah, look, I want to keep him. I think he can still do something for us. I know it's been a long time coming. He's on massive wages. His wages don't, he shouldn't be getting paid that much. No, certainly not. Like I said, he's been playing like a 30 grand a week player, not 140 grand a week player. I hope he stays, and I hope that he sits down tonight and he watches himself on Match of the Day and has a little word with himself, because he can do it. He can do it. But it's just whether he wants to or not. His work rate today was massive. No one can deny Theo Walcott today. No one can tell me that Theo Walcott didn't play well today, because he did.
Yeah. I mean, he had a hand in the goal. I mean, like FK says, when he doesn't have time to think about things, when he does things instinctively, he does things really well. It's like when he overthinks things, that's when he sort of makes mistakes. Yeah. FK, anything jumping out on Twitter for you, mate?
Yeah, look, everyone's just pleased that we've got our first win under the belt. People talking about Xhaka, some people a bit disappointed about the Ox, but I'm getting a few pelters here about thinking that Arsenal could possibly win the league, or being called deluded and all sorts, but hey, it comes with the territory. I don't think, I've not said for 1 minute that I think Arsenal will win the league. I think we're capable of doing it. You just don't know. So there's some really interesting comments. Someone's even commented on my polo shirt. Thank you very much for that. Jude's, whatever your name is. But no, I think that everyone's just really pleased we got the win, and everyone, people are just very happy that Arsenal's finally made the 2 transfers. So on we go. We can only get stronger now.
Bryce, we're gonna wrap up the show, because I promised that we'll keep it short and sweet to 45 minutes, and we've been going almost 45 minutes. Guys, one last thing. Man of the match today. Let's start with Craig. Who do you think was man of the match today?
I was going to say Petr Cech.
Okay.
For me,
couple good saves.
I think that save in the first half was massive. If that had gone in, that one from Koscielny, we'd have been looking at a completely different game. And as I say, look, yes, I was a goalkeeper. I have to stress that was some reaction save from Petr Cech. Absolute world-class save. And he's kept us in it again down the other end a couple of times. So for me, biased towards the goalkeeper, but I thought Petr Cech was massive today.
Loomis, your man of the match today, mate?
I want to give it to Xhaka, but I got to say, based on the numbers of the game, I got to give it to Alexis.
Alexis
He got
Sanchez.
goal and assist, yeah. So I'm going to give it to Alexis. And his goal, beautiful finish as well. So I'll give it to Alexis, but Xhaka's very close in the
He
run
definitely
for
meant
the
it,
match.
didn't he? He definitely meant that, Lewis.
Yeah, definitely.
Ah, yeah.
Of course, mate. the way he adjusted his body, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've got Craig with Peter Cech. We've got Loomis for Alexis Sanchez. Mr. FK, who was your man of the match today, mate?
Oh, well, you know what? I've got to be honest with you. I didn't actually watch the game, but judging by the tweets that everyone's coming out with, I mean, how can you not give it to Xhaka? Apparently, he was brilliant. Range of passing, just a tidy player who looks the part now. And yeah, I'll give it to Granit Xhaka to be different. So well done to Granit, and let's hope that this is the start of something special.
I think we've lost Gunnar Ozzy. I think he's dropped out there. But for my man of the match today, I'm going to give it to Mesut Ozil. I thought he was absolutely sublime today. He topped it off with a wonderful goal.
Yeah.
I thought he was sublime.
That was a Lampard goal right there, I would say.
It was, wasn't it? The way he timed his run into the box, you know. But he was key for everything. I mean, Loomis, like you, I thought Alexis played well today. But I think the reason Alexis played well because he had Mesut behind him and speaking the balls.
That's true.
Any final points, guys? Anything that you want to touch on before we wrap this show up? Anything that's sticking out?
Yeah. I just want to say to everyone, let's not take down this Lucas Perez before he's even put on a shirt.
Yeah, I've seen a few tweets.
Let's just let him put the shirt on. Let's see what he's got, and then we'll make our judgments. I mean, I go through Twitter this morning, everyone's saying, Lucas Perez, who the hell's he? Who the hell's he? I remember when Thierry Henry signed for us, and I was saying, who the hell's this geezer?
I saw someone calling him a donkey. Like they haven't seen him kick a ball for Arsenal yet.
Let's just wait. Let's just wait. And let's not jump on the bandwagon just yet, and let's just see what he's going to do. Because who knows?
Arsenal fans are so reactional. Like he'll probably have like a debut and he'll have a stinker, and that's it. Everyone will jump on the bandwagon and say, what a terrible signing. But vice versa, if he comes in and scores in his debut, he's going to be the next Messi, isn't he? So I think that everyone's very quick to judge a player at Arsenal. But look, we've signed 2 new players. We've got 3 points. It's a good win. Let's be happy. I can enjoy my weekend. It's been a great show. Thank you very much for all our calls from South Carolina to Dubai to Gothenburg to Greece. Thank you very much to Craig. Thank you very much to FK. Thank you very much to Loomis and Gunnar Ozzy. This has been ArsenalFanTV Extra. Thank you for watching and thank you for your tweets. Let's enjoy the victory. Come on, the Arsenal. Until next time.
Enjoy your carnival weekend.
Madness!
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much. Bye now.